Disney is releasing a new live-action Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, set to come out in 2023. A short while ago, they released the first look at Rachel Zegler in her Snow White costume. And the dress is, not exactly what I expected. I don't know if this is going to be the actual dress in the film. Surely Disney can do better. But it made me think, how would I design Snow White's dress if I were the costume designer? So here we are. The dress in the original Snow White film is inspired by dresses from the Renaissance era, around the 15th century. So I would imagine the live-action version to be the same. Well, I wouldn't imagine it being historically accurate, rather a fairy tale Disney version of the Renaissance era. Instead of the 1930s bob haircut, I drew Snow White with long hair, and actually took inspiration from the 1969 version of Anne Boleyn, played by Geneviève Bujold. So, the first and most important thing I had to decide about my version of the dress was what colour I wanted it to be. The signature colour for Disney's Snow White is red, as well as blue and yellow, and although I would love to see Snow White wearing a red dress, either at the beginning of the film, when her father is still alive, or at the end when she marries the prince, but for the majority of the film, an entirely red dress felt too regal. What I mean by that is, in the animated version, because the Queen is so jealous of Snow White, she makes her wear rags to try and hide her beauty, and although I probably wouldn't dress her in literal rags, I would dress her in a much simpler style than her stepmother, whom I would imagine dressing very elaborately and very regal. So I painted Snow White in white. Not only does white represent her youthfulness and innocence, but also would contrast nicely with her ebony black hair and the red of her lips and the poisonous apple. Also, I just think there's something about a simple white dress that looks so whimsical and romantic and fairy tale-ish. The skirt or basic dress I imagine being very floaty and made up of a few layers, which I think would look somewhat dramatic as she's running through the woods. For the bodice of the dress, I was inspired by one of Angela Clayton's Renaissance dresses. I made the bodice a creamier white than the rest of the dress and added white embroidered detailing to make it look princessy. At first, I was going to give her loose floaty sleeves, like the skirt, but I thought she might look like she was wearing underwear, so I gave her tie-on sleeves like the kind worn in the Renaissance era. These sleeves not only create puffs, reminiscent of the original animation, but I also liked the idea that she could remove her sleeves for when she's doing household chores, either for the evil queen or at the cottage. I actually did a quick pencil sketch of how the dress could be altered for when she's working. Her undersleeves are tucked up her arms, her hair is tied up in a scarf, she wears a red apron, and I thought maybe she could tie up the ends of her skirt for easy movement, and her shoes and the tip of her underskirt could be seen. Finally, I gave her a red headband with white detailing, inspired by French hoods worn in the 15th century, and of course Snow White's red hair bow. Overall, I quite like how the dress turned out, and I would love to see something similar to this in the live-action remake. Let me know what you think in the comments, and thank you for watching. Bye!